Hi, my name is Glenn Story, and I'm the CEO of Patriot Mobile. This Father's Day, let's take a moment to honor the men who choose to lead their families with strength, humility, and grace. We recognize that fathers, grandfathers, and mentors who reflect the love of our Heavenly Father and how they serve, protect, and guide their children and their families. The Bible gives us a clear picture of what fatherhood really looks like. As fathers, we are called to protect, guide, and provide our families using our faith as our compass, much the way Jesus led the disciples. Whether at home or in church or in our communities, fathers put family first without the need for recognition or thanks. At Patriot Mobile, we proudly stand with those who have received the blessings of fatherhood. That's why we support organizations that defend biblical values, protect our families, and advance the causes that honor our God. Use the promo code below to get your first month free when you switch to Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative cell phone service provider. And with every call and text you make, you'll know that you're supporting a company that believes strong fathers build strong families, and strong families build an even stronger America. Happy Father's Day, and may God bless all the fathers in our great nation.
Absolutely. God bless Patriot Mobile, and thrilled to be a part of that great organization, getting some early Father's Day messaging out there. Hello, all, and hopefully we flipped everything around. Hello, Barry. Appreciate you being out there. Michael. Hello. Barry's having a little trouble, so hopefully everything is good. And one of the streams is acting a little funny, but there's two of them out there on Rumble side. Things be crazy sometimes. Hope everybody's had a great Thursday and are ready for the weekend. You have just a little bit of time left, and you'll be in your weekend. It's going to be an amazing weekend with so much going on. And now we have so much the more, right? I mean, so much the more. This morning we talked about it. We said it looked as though there was a strike imminent. All indications had been laying the groundwork for that for some time. And that absolutely has occurred and is occurring. And so we're going to talk about a few of those things that we've gleaned from this. We definitely knew that the negotiations had broke down. The inspectors were not allowed in, and there was just, it was going nowhere. It was absolutely going nowhere. And so Israel, according to Marco Rubio, had did this all on their own, but others have said there's no way they did this without America knowing about it and saying, okay, I mean, kind of signing off on it to that degree that that they were able to get resources there and get going. They caught the Iranians off guard, by all accounts, and retired General Blaine Holt said he believed it was a decapitation move to hit their leaders. Bibi Netanyahu made it very clear he was not trying to target the people, but the leaders. So there was some apartment areas hit. It is believed they were trying to take out military leaders and probably to the highest level in Iran, but especially specifically those who have command and control and, really, really target them. So dozens of planes involved, death and destruction, fires. It'll be a while to assess all of it. Michael says they're announcing 4 leaders dead. Well, they caught them. I mean, we knew it was coming. I don't think they should have been that surprised, honestly, because of the announcement by the United States this morning to get their non-essential staff out of Baghdad's embassy and for citizens to make the choice, but possibly get out of Kuwait and Bahrain. It seemed to indicate that America had built up extra resources in the area. They said they did not take part in this at all. But I don't know if I believe that totally. I think intelligence gathering is always shared between the nations. And I believe, not that we did any kind of bombing run, but we're definitely involved. We knew it was going to happen. Iran broke off negotiations. They wouldn't let the inspectors in. And Russia's already, saying, I mean, they're working with the Russians on getting their facilities built up beyond the 4 that they have and enriching the uranium and getting it in weapons grade so that they could hit. And they have the missile capability to hit quite a few regions. They've upgraded their missiles over the last couple of decades, especially the last decade. Shahads, I mean, they're called. They're able to strike. They've got different ones, but even in the region, it's dangerous. So it's I asked the question here of a few. Hey Barry, I asked the question here a few weeks ago. Is America at war? And because of different things we had going on, because we're neck deep in Ukraine, and was we at war by proxy in the Middle East? Well, possibly. But what we do know tonight is that Israel's at war. And this is going to be an ongoing. So it's ugly. We think about the Middle East in flames, and I'm just looking at it straight on. This is not to take sides or anything. It's just looking at it in totality. This is not a judgment. It's just looking at it for what it is. Israel has, made a tactical decision to take out Hamas, and now they've said they're going to take out the bomb-making ability for nuclear weapons from Iran, and they have went straight on at their leaders, straight on. So the retaliation will be coming. Israel, for their part, canceled schools for Friday, which they're already into. They're about 10 hours ahead of us, if I remember my math right. It's about 10 hours ahead of us. So schools were canceled, and they'll be on guard. This was a massive strike. They also hit nuclear facilities, military installations, and the like. Again, they will be much more about it I'm sure in the 24 to 36 hours after this, the energy prices have already hit. Oil has already went up 7%, which we knew that was going to happen. It always happens. It's 7 hours. Sorry, Bronski. I'm thinking of. I think I'm thinking of. Oh my goodness! I get different countries mixed. There is someone that's 10 hours, and I'm trying to think of where it's at. I have friends that have went, but anyway, several hours. So it will not be a place to. If you're a tourist, normally I would say you're safe as in your mother's arms in Israel because they really do protect you. But because of this, it might not be the best time to land and take the church group around the country. Just saying, because it is. Oh yeah, Barry, there'll be that. Israel just has, it's said, look, we got to protect ourselves. They're going to drop the bomb on us. I know people don't like it. There's a lot of people don't like Israel, and they side with the Iranians. But whether you like or you don't like, it doesn't change what the facts on the ground. The facts is that war is widening in the Middle East, and that's not a good thing. India is 9 hours, 30 minutes. Okay, thank you. What is Australia? Is that 12 to 15? Somewhere China's 12. Thank you for that. Somewhere is 10. Well, hey, wait a minute now. It depends on where you're coming at from the country, right? If you were West Coast, would it not be a 10-hour flight? Well, actually, it'd be more than that because you got to do layover in New York. Everything goes to New York, and then you do your 6 hours or 7, whatever it is, to Ben Gurion. So, yeah, 14. Actually, that's probably like 24 hours all the layovers. That is if you, and I think that's maybe what I was thinking of. 10 if you were West Coast. Yes. But even if you're in Atlanta, you're going to fly to New York, do a layover, and then hit the security checkpoints. And their security is much better than most because of obvious reasons, especially if you're flying El Al. Maybe not so much on the others, but El Al is really strict. But anyway, here we go. And it's just been back and forth. There's been that. I mean, all the way back when Bibi come and addressed Congress when I think it was Obama was president, and he drew the pictures and he talked about the bomb. I mean, he's been laying the groundwork for a long time to say we're not going to let them do that. They didn't let Iraq do it, and they did they let this one get a lot further down the line. I will say that when they hit Iraq, it was not not anywhere near what Iran's is, and they hit that one hard. That was a tricky operation. It always is because of how far they have to kind of come, and they can't use certain airspaces, but this was dozens of planes, they say, and so it's going to dominate. It's going to be a spicy summer. That's a good designation because it is, and this thing, and I mean, and again, don't hit the messenger. This is not a knock. It's just a fact. The president he's got his hands full. Say, well, he's kicking butt, he's taking care of it. Well, some of it he can't take care of because it's out of his hands. I mean, he's applied pressure. It's not working. So he's got the domestic issues going on. They're still trying to navigate through. You still got Russia, Ukraine. Now Israel has hit Iran. And then there's always that possibility that Taiwan gets hit. I mean, it's out there. When the world is busy, you never know. I mean, who knows? Can't predict it. But they've been on China's been on a war footing for some time and making threats against Taiwan. Not to say they will. There's no indication of that. But if things deteriorate, who knows? They know if they hit Iran hard, all the little groups will fall easier. Well, yeah, but it is and I'll say this: a lot of the Arabs, these Arab nations, they don't like a lot of them don't like each other, but they'll make agreements with each other. But one of the things that all of them pretty much agree on is none of them like Iran. They don't like them. It's because they're so radical, even they can't trust that they won't bomb them. And so there has always been that little bit of wink, wink, nod, nod, where they talk tough from their little countries over there, but they absolutely help the Americans and others. I'm not saying they're helping the Israelis, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if it was happening secretly. There are people in Arab nations in the Middle East right now that are cheering. They're absolutely cheering because they don't trust Iran, and they've had just as much threats against them. I mean, they're looked at as the enemy. Iran don't want to make agreements with the rest of the countries over there. They want terror. They want to destroy Israel. They want to control the region. And working with Russia, they're trying to do that. So, it's just that weird dynamic in the Middle East. They'll say what they got to say publicly, and not that they love America or not that they like Israel or anything, but it's better to deal with us in Israel than it is to deal with Iran. That's a fact. They're crazy. I mean, they have been a problem in the region for a long time. They're a state sponsor of terrorism all over the Middle East. I mean, they're out of control, and it's just, nobody. There's you can't convince me there's anybody in the region or in the world, except maybe the ones that's working with them, that think it's a good idea for Iran to have a bomb. Now, I have questioned this for weeks now. All the way back when Bibi came and addressed Congress, he said they were within 6 months of the bomb. Well, that's been some time ago. And nobody seems to know the answer on this. How close are they? Were they that close? Did they have enough to create some sort of a bomb? The Russians said they're going to help them enrich it, and they would, quote, keep the Iranians at bay. Bullcrap. How much do they have? How advanced is it? They've already got the rocket. That's not a question. But could they get this, and could they even deliver it without being shot out of the sky? I don't know. No, they can't, broski. But a year ago or over a year ago, they hit them with a massive, massive virus in their computer systems, which did a heck of a lot of damage. And what they can do is there's nobody in the world that's any better of infiltrating and accessing and doing that remotely from inside. They've done some of the most dangerous missions you could ever imagine to get their guy or to get a situation. I'm not saying they would do that in this one, but I guarantee you that they will find a way to. And by the way, if you don't have missiles that can go up, if you knock those out, they'll be down for a while anyway. But they have done some. I mean, all the way back to, just think of those locations they have hit. Famous stories of, when they went to rescue their hostages and people they have hit. They got the guts. They got more guts than a lot of people have, and they're really good at doing that. And they've suffered minimal losses while doing it. Yes, Barry, they crushed their systems bad. I don't know how long they had that in there, but when they did that, it absolutely crippled Iran for a bit. I mean, a bit. It totally wiped their systems out. So you're dealing with someone who just has the ability to hit in a massive way in different ways. So yes, they've claimed, it's underground. But if you're dead, you can't make the call on it anyway. So they definitely went after the head of the snake, and their special forces they'll cause enough havoc. I mean, if the mountain falls down, you're not doing anything anyway. I mean, talk about fracking. I mean, they can hit the mountain and they can collapse the mountain down. And they can get on the ground and do some things internally. It'll be risky and deadly, but they've never showed themselves to be scared to take up that charge. Um, so anyway, that's where we're at. It is an absolutely. It's not good. I mean, none of this is good for us. Even though they're probably glad that Iran's getting hit because again they make threats to everybody. Um, but it is not good, and it will have an effect on energy prices. It's already having an effect, and so this ain't gonna be over in 24 hours. I wouldn't think. So it's going to take some time for this to kind of work its way through. And how much does Israel want to hit? And then what kind of responses Iran had? And you're going to get into that for a little bit. And are there other entities that want to get into this fight? I don't think they will because they don't like Iran. But there's always that one rogue people that may want to join in and work with the Iranians to try to help because they hate Israel too. So I don't know. But it's not good for the world. It's not good for America. There's no doubt. And this is tremendously expensive for Israel. A good 30% of their GDP is on national defense. They need tourism to keep those shops and the mom and pops and stuff open. A lot of their money, and not all of it, but a lot of it comes from tourism. They're very big in agriculture, diamonds. A lot of people don't know that about Israel. They have a tremendous diamond market. The agriculture, which we mentioned, and some other things that they have. One of the largest Motorola plants is in Israel. But this will amplify. You're going to hear it more of the boycott, divest, that whole movement, sanction, BDS, and it's expensive. And I would almost be willing to bet that there will be some sort of a loan that will be extended to Israel to help financially because they're an ally, and we don't like Iran either. So, oh sure, yeah, Michael, they're not going to stop. They'll go until they get what they're wanting to look at. Well, our strategic oil reserves are bad. Biden emptied them out. They've not been replaced, from my knowledge. I asked about this I was talking about this with someone about 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about this, that they had not been fully filled back up. So there you go, Joe. It is absolutely not good. Not good. So bumpy road. We said it was going to be a bumpy road to the midterms, and that is playing out. It's absolutely true. And that's this right here, this action on this eve of this weekend. It's going to cause even probably more protest in our own nation for those that are pro-Palestinian, hate Israel, whatever. They'll just join in the crowd. They were probably already a part of it anyway, but it'll give more fuel for their songs and beating the drums and attacking the president, and so that's where we're at. I didn't think that it would be this quick. I honestly thought it might. I thought it might occur over the next couple of weeks, but it caught me a little bit off guard when everybody was saying that. I didn't think, but I figured the movement of people was a precursor to something in a couple of weeks or 3. But boy, they hit soon, and so maybe we didn't find out until those hours ahead. So we're like, okay, we got to get people out of there because it's not stable and not safe, and the region's going to blow up. I am really honestly surprised they didn't close the embassy in Baghdad. If they knew this was going to happen, they probably didn't want to tip the hand even more. Those people got to be feeling it tonight. I mean, the Iraqis they're not the best at providing security, and certainly not for us. We may be having to send the Marines in there to get those people out. It's actually it'll fall under attack. There'll be people in there that will Hey, Barry, no problem, man. Sorry, get a drink. And so, and embassies around the world, I'm sure, are on high alert. That's just the way it is. And they should be on high alert. And there's a lot of Americans in the region. A lot of Americans are going to have to be really careful. We have a lot of people that are working in civilian roles and or military all over the Middle East. You remember when the two got hit in Jordan by the drone and killed, or two or four, whatever it was. Our military personnel that's in the region is going to have to be really careful. I feel better about it now, though, because Pete Hegseth will do the right things to protect. He won't be off at the hospital not doing his job like the previous person did in that role. But there should be travel, and I'm sure there is, travel restrictions and or warnings to all Americans in the region. Because right now, in a state of war, the Americans are going to become targets. And like I said, I've never said I wouldn't go to Israel if I'd feel safe there. But because of what's happening right now, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't delay a trip. To be honest, it's you just never know. And although they're not as advanced in some ways, Iran has a lot of it at its disposal, and they do have Russia that they can work with and partner with, and have. They build the drones for Russia to hit Ukraine. They've got some pretty advanced stuff. They've really came a long way. Hopefully, Israel's hitting some of those depots as well. Just blow them up while they're there, and really hit that drone capability building. At least set it back for some weeks. I would hope that they're hitting that. But anything that's a military target has probably already been targeted and hit to some degree, depending on its scale of how far up, what kind of a target it is. They're hitting it. So, and another thing they have to look at, Israel knows, I mean, they certainly don't need to hear me say it. You hit them once, it's a surprise. It won't be a surprise now. So they'll really be watching. So certainly you hit your command and control. They would have hit their radar capability really hard, their ground surface to air missile capability. That would have been, and you do that in any battle. You come in and you hit that crap really hard and try to knock it out, because the next wave they're going to be watching for that. And, I'm sure Iran will try to put some stuff up in the air, but they've already played this out in scenarios, and they know exactly what they want to do and how they want to do it. But, is there a missile capability there that Iran has not shown that is of a much higher grade? And what? I'm just saying, this is where we're at. What if one happens to get through the net and follow Jerusalem or Tel Aviv or something like that and watch things blow up even more? And let us not forget, sorry, my eyes are, I need to put some Visine. If I blink a little bit, my eyes are just bothering me a little bit tonight. Israel is a nuclear power. They've never admitted it, but they are a nuclear power. And they would never want to have to use that, but they wouldn't hesitate if they felt like their very existence was on the line. And that's something that Tehran has to look at as well. And they hit in the city. They hit Tehran. They definitely were hit. They were trying to cut the head of the snake off. And so, but Tehran, for all of what they want to do, they don't have full nuclear capability yet. They're trying to get there. Israel is. It's well known. And if they want to see a mushroom cloud over Tehran, they better watch their steps. Because in the event that they got hit with something like that, and they did have some nuclear, even small capability, and all of a sudden you've got dead Jews all over Israel, the mushroom cloud will be over Tehran. Absolutely. And it would come in such a hit that it would obliterate a lot of the city. We would hope that doesn't happen, but they have that capability. So that always keeps countries at bay a little bit. Oh, they like to shoot rockets, they like to do stuff, but all these countries that talk bad, like we're going to destroy them, we're going to wipe them off the face of the planet. They know they've got enough to hit them back to utterly destroy them. So that was always the main defense of having nuclear weapons, is that the fear was, well, we'd never use them because if we shoot ours, they shoot theirs, and then it's over. So, but when you're dealing with radicals who don't care, they don't value life. And if they think they're going to get paradise with the perpetual 72 virgins and blah, 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 who knows what nutcake would call for. I think Israel will handle this. It's not good. It'll escalate terror operations in the region. Hopefully Hezbollah does not get involved here, because in their back door, they could be causing a lot more problems for Israel. They hit them pretty hard. Notice what Israel's done before they did this. Whether you like it or not, they absolutely walked the dog over Hamas. They have taken out every commander that Hamas has put in place. Every single one that stepped up to the plate and said, I'm the new leader of Hamas, they were dead forthwith. They have also been softening up Hezbollah and hitting there. It doesn't get as much press. Gaza got most of the press, but they've been doing a lot of bombing runs in Lebanon. They've also been flying into Syria and knocking out certain things there, weapons depots and other things to hopefully keep at bay. Of course, the new regime is there. They said they don't want problems with Israel, but Israel's guarding the Golan Heights on the Syrian side of things. So they've really been fighting on three fronts for some time now. And now we see a fourth. So it is absolutely a state of war. They've already been in a state of war. It's just now the war involves Iran. And so, who knows what would have happened if we had in any way assisted that uprising that happened in Iran that got brutally brought to a halt. Maybe we're not here the way we are tonight. But I know things have to play out with the purpose they have. But you do like to kind of play your thoughts that way. That uprising was real. It was a threat to the mullahs in Iran. But we didn't support it, and it was quelled, and a lot of people died. Young people. The young people in Iran are so frustrated. They want to be a little more Western culture. They want to wear the Levi's jeans. They want to listen, have the social media opportunities. The girls especially, to be able to wear makeup and nice clothes, Western clothes, style clothes. They want to live that life, and they've seen it. And my heart goes out to the young lady who they killed, who went. They should build a statue to this girl who went into Tehran, I think it was, and stripped down to her bikini in a show of defiance. And they killed her. They beat her to death. May her memory always be, may she always be remembered. Annie Cyrus, who is a podcaster and is on, I think, on Rumble. I'm almost certain of that. I've listened to her before. She is Iranian. She is American citizen now, and she has to move around. She has to broadcast in secret. The Iranians have been so mad at her for the things she has gotten on her podcast and said, and really exposing a lot of things about how they do. They put out hits on her live and some others. There's not just her. This has happened right here in America. And at one, there's others that have been targeted when they went to go speak. There are some places that shut them down. They put pressure on churches, convention halls, and others, and made threats to those places. And this is before we get to now, so that other groups would not speak. There are podcasts, ministry podcasts, who have held every year a prophecy conference in the state of Minnesota, I believe it is. And the last one they went to do, the hotel canceled on them. Why? There were threats made to the hotel. One for a boycott. Also, two was violence. And they gave their money back to them and canceled them at the last minute. They moved it to a church. The church got threats as well. They couldn't fit as many people there, but they still held it. They've also, some of the people that process the money, for banking and stuff like that, where people give into your podcast, your content creator status, whatever your software you're using, those have been canceling out a lot of conservative podcasters and stuff. So, but there are certainly threats made within our own nation from Iranian plants that have come in the country. And about, it's been months ago now. It was last year at some point. You remember the Iranian guy that came in, that crossed the border, and there happened to be someone there that filmed him, and he didn't like it? Remember that dude? That dude wasn't here on come get a job. That dude was a bad dude. He was identified as someone that's very involved in terrorism. Where's he at today? Nobody knows. I don't think they ever found him. He's hiding out. So we got to be careful within our own nation because there are those cells that are in our nation, and they're waiting on orders. They're ready. They're ready for go time. And we're at that point really when we see the deaths that happened at the one event and other things that have happened. There are definitely these terror cells that are being given their marching orders to go into operation. So even here, I'm sure they will. Synagogues, Jewish organizations, you're doubling and tripling the security up. And the people have to be very careful because there are people here that will hit them from inside the United States. Michael says, just the other day, Trump and Vance and Elon got threatened by Iran. Sure. Oh yeah, they threatened us too. They bragged that they can hit us in America. They can hit DC with the missile capability they have. And you know that, and I'm just throwing things out there. You all know these things. It's nothing you don't know, but it sure is important to talk about. And there's a book, I'm still reading it. I'm forever. I've got so many books that I'm reading on. It's a great book, and it's one that has someone who wrote it who was in the know. They're since have deceased, but I believe the son it is that keeps the book out. I may even have that in the studio. I have to look because I've been wanting to finish it, and it's all about the EMP threat, which everybody's talked about how deadly that could be for America. And here's the things I would say as America first. Okay, you say, well, that's over there. Well, okay. Well, first of all, you're going to pay more for your energy. Oil prices are already jumping big time, so get ready for a spike at the pump. So there's all that kind of crap going on. But right here in America, right here inside the United States, we are so vulnerable, people don't even realize. There are two systems that are very vulnerable in the United States. It could be hit very easily. It's not to say that there's not some security there, but it's really easy to disrupt. One of those is our water supply. Water system filtration systems are ran. A lot of those things are ran by computer. Most things are nowadays. So a massive virus could be unleashed that could cripple systems and mess up your clean drinking water. That could easily happen. And then the power grid, especially out west, is a mess. And there has been cases within the last few years where the electrical grid almost fully collapsed. And when that happens, you can't bring that grid back up immediately. It takes time. It has to come up in stages. There is damage done. There's parts that have to be replaced. And they've already done damage estimates. How many fatalities would die in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because it's estimated. That's if there wasn't a ton of damage. If it just fell, if it just collapsed, how many people would die? Because you got to think about people on oxygen, people that need hospitals and stuff, that you can only run some of those systems for so long, those backups, and then you're going to run into some problems there. But people in their homes and stuff, and food preparation, again, going back to the what operates those systems at the water treatment plant to clean your water and all that. They've done damage estimates. What kind of casualty rate would we have? You can go online and find that. You'll find great documentaries over on YouTube about it. And they did a scholarly look at this. This is not this is not Joe in the basement, in Kalamazoo. This is nothing against you, Joe, in Kalamazoo. These are people that highly technical people put these studies together. These are the power plants themselves. And the numbers are staggering because the grid almost fell in Texas a few years ago. Go watch that documentary. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's easy to find. The grid was within minutes, maybe seconds of collapse, and they saved it. And that's when they said, what would have happened if it had fallen? Now, on the East Coast here, it's not the best. There's things that need to be done, but we're a little bit better shape. Some of those systems they've spent more money on, they're better. I still say there's vulnerabilities. Now, I will say, I'm right here at I'm in the blast zone for Sequoia Nuclear Facility, Tennessee. Saudi. All the folks that's in here from North Georgia, you know that. If something happened there, we're just dead. We're just vaporized. It wouldn't take long for it to get here. They do a lot of preparation, a lot of practice runs, in emergencies in case the nuclear reactors were under attack. It's a dual reactor, 1 and 2, and there are others in the general region, other nuclear facilities. I can't name the name, but I had a friend that used to work for TVA. He had a high security clearance due to his previous life of things he did, but also while he was there. And he has told me stories of people that were scoping out different entities within the TVA family, whether that was the dam system, water treatment, and yes, the nuclear facilities. He has seen the videos. They have arrested these people. They claim they were just taking pictures. I can tell you, it wasn't just when you come at 3 a.m. in the morning, it wasn't picture taking time for the tourists. And there was enough evidence there that, I think some of them they were able to jail them. Some of them they just kicked out of the country. But there has been threats, ongoing threats against those facilities, even here in the area that I'm at. So when something like this happens, you have to think about stuff like that. I'm not saying it will. I'm certainly not hoping. I'm not one of those that say, I told you, not that. I'm just saying we talked about it. I hope it doesn't happen. But it certainly we need to hope and pray that they're amping up security within our own nation. Because once something like this blows up in the Middle East, there can be ramifications across the world. So pray for the country, absolutely. Let's see, Michael has put some stuff up. Let's see, they are running the second strike now, and they killed the military leader. Yeah, we do. Watts Bar, Sequoia. There's another one. I can't think. Where's that other one? One of them never got built. That's over in Alabama, isn't it? There's one in Alabama still right here in the region. Dang, Skippy. Yes, the guy that killed the Marine he worked at Sequoia, yes. And so that's scary. Absolutely. Barry says, let me catch up with you here. Barry says, pretty sure those terror cells are in California. There was some groups here in Georgia, up in my neck of the woods here in the Northeast. I have to have the audio books. I can't see very well. I understand. I'm pretty sure that probably yeah. I would like for you to listen to that documentary. You could hear that. It's on YouTube. I'll tell you what, Barry. I will look that up and I will send you that. I got your email. and it's free. The best thing, right? Local substations aren't safe if the main transformers are taken out. It could be days or weeks to restore power. I say closer to the city, probably days. Outliers, absolutely weeks. All the equipment of the substation is designed to protect the main transformer. Yeah. And some of those systems are not ready. Like EMP would be deadly to it. Deadly. Even a massive solar flare from the sun could be deadly. So anyway, I just think it's important that we think about those things, uh, because a lot of people just have this flippant attitude, like, well, it's they've been fighting in the Middle East for thousands of years. They'll keep fighting. It don't affect us here in uh, whatever city, state you want to say. Well, yeah, it does. It does, and we will get tied in with that because of our support for Israel. Things will intensify. I'll just say that. I have full confidence the president will handle the situation. That being said, but we got to hope that that things get. Yeah, Barry. And they just added to that nuclear. They got the approval. That is, yeah, Vogel. That is the first nuclear reactor to be approved, and they had a special reason why they could do that there, because there were opposition groups, like you know how it goes. I think if I remember right, that's the first one that's been built since the 70s. They don't build them anymore. They don't get approval to build them. I think that the president he's made statements that he wants to see that increased because there need more, and it's cleaner fuel than, I know there's dangers, but it's cleaner fuel than coal and other things. And so he has been pretty vocal about that, stripping away some of the restrictions and stuff. But I will also say this: they're actually firing back up some of the coal plants that were closed. They're putting those back in operation, and they even believe that they have a cleaner way to get rid of some of the ash from that. So there's a lot going on, and as we look at this second strike now, Michael says it's going on. People are being killed. It raises that terror level even higher, where they might not have won, and not just here, but around the world. And that's why I say our embassy staff, no matter where they're at, man, I hope they have really got them protected right now. And in some cases, I believe they should shut the thing down and get the heck out. Honestly, right now, we don't need people manning an embassy in Baghdad. I say get them out. That is not good. Not good. It's just not safe. And these people have to go on lockdown. They sure can't be going to their apartments or homes or wherever. It's dangerous right now. Okay, Michael say Sequoia Watts Bar Belafonte. Was Belafonte ever? Would they have one or was it two? They stopped the one. They never built the one. Was it Scottsboro? I'm probably wrong on that. And then there was the other one because of the Snell Darter. What was that? Teleco? My brain ain't fully working, but you guys know, you've seen it just like I have. That one that was sitting over in Alabama, they sold it. And I think this guy actually believed he could get it going, but that thing's been sitting so long. I guess he finished buying it. He had put in a bid for it. I haven't kept up. But the electrical grid in America is not, it's better than most around the world, sure. But it has its faults. And we know that. I mean, look at the brownouts and different things that happen. Texas, California, even, for as advanced as they say they are, they commonly have power outages. It's fairly common around the country. Now, sometimes that's because we've exceeded demand. The demand has exceeded the capabilities, rather, when it's really hot or really cold. But some of that is just systems are not They've not been kept up. They've not been upgraded. Barry says Sandy, located in South Carolina, was shut down. Their plan was because Toshiba went bankrupt and the taxpayers will have to pay for it. Yeah, I remember that too. And that's what happens. These things are money suckers. I mean, billions upon billions of dollars are poured into them. And sometimes you wonder if they'll ever produce power. Sequoia was that way. It was a huge fight to get that finished up. They always go a cost overrun. They always cost more money than they say they are. Belafonte is in Hollywood. Okay. They took out a lot of senior leaders. Israel said they have just gotten started. Sure. So this is going to be something to keep watching. I think you're right, Barry. The company was Sandy Cooper. I have a little bit kept up with that story. Not any depth, but there's just enough in the brain matter that I remember some of that. Because I've watched a couple of podcasts that were talking about it and news articles I've read about the situation over there with the nuclear capability. So, Lord knows what's going to happen. Right now, Iran's getting lit up. And it's just not something that happens every day. It's not something that happens every decade. In fact, it's just something that doesn't happen. It's rare. And Israel does, for all the talk about Israel and everything, and they will hit a place here or there with a precision strike. And I know because of the kidnappings and deaths, Gaza this time was a different story, sure. But Israel doesn't commonly go around flying planes over their neighbors and bombing them. Unless they've been provoked and hit. Syria, yes. Southern Lebanon, yes. And Gaza, usually helicopter. They don't usually even use the jets. Right now, though, they have hit Iraq before. That was back in the 80s. That was a long time ago. In fact, the lead pilot in that formation was the one that was killed in the Columbia. He went up to space, and he was killed in that. Oh, they danced and cheered over there. You remember that when Columbia blew up and where it landed, or it burned up, where it landed at, Palestine, Texas? Oh, that wasn't lost on them at all. They felt like it was Allah had brought it down in flames. And because he was on board, they looked at that as a great sign. Oh, they danced all over that, all over the Middle East. So I would say there's some nervous dictators right now in the Middle East and in that region. And I would say you'll probably not see too many of them run that mouth too much. They're going to say something, but they're not going to make any kind of threats right now because Israel could just as easily take them on and start hitting their targets there too. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond. Very interesting how they might respond to this. Listen for what Russia has to say. Zelensky's not going to be happy. It takes the focus off of Russia, Ukraine. And by the way, Russia was hitting Ukrainian cities again today. This thing just gets uglier over there as well. Michael says we have the Edwin Hatch nuclear plant in Baxley. That's the one that is that Vogeltel? Is that part of that? I think it's all part of that same system. And that's where they just are either have or fixing to bring online the new reactor, which is good for Georgia. Georgia doesn't have a power problem. So like some states do. Georgia doesn't have a power problem. Duke Energy is up through the North Carolina, the Carolinas and stuff. And actually TVA has bought power from Duke before when they needed it. So they've got agreements in place. I'd say up through the East Coast here, down, all the way down and through some of the southern states, we're okay. But once you kind of get past, once you hit Texas, that grid, it could easily be disrupted. I say easily. For those that have the means and the ability to pull it off, and we would hope that doesn't happen. So whatever we thought the weekend was going to be, it just got an escalator clause, and it is amped up even more. The parade, by the way, we've seen in the news, the parade may be wiped out by weather. So there may not be a military parade. The president will still celebrate his birthday. He was on the red carpet tonight. He heard some cheers and some boos from the crowd. Operations will continue over the weekend for deportations. And protests are scheduled for Saturday all over the country. The No Kings protest. So there we go. And I'm sure the liberal talking heads will be talking about that it's President Trump's fault on all this, by the way, because they're going to say that look what's happened since he's been elected, which they're bringing this stuff internally anyway. America's on fire in certain places, and now look what's happened in the Middle East, Russia, Ukraine. They'll turn around and try to spin this and bash the president. You know they will. Yes, it's one of the most advanced. Most people in the world don't have that. We have agreements. We don't give them the exact plane that we have. It is how you used to go get the car and you got one tricked out, decked out, hot, or you could get the one that had the basic radio, it was a new car. That's what we do with them and anybody else. We don't give them the exact model. It's still bad. That thing's a wrecking crew. But it has a few bells and whistles less than the American version, which is smart to do. I wouldn't say it's much because it's Israel. It's probably just slightly like, A1, AB or something. But it's bad mama jamma. Now they're getting ready to build. They're working on the next gen planes. It's funny how they jumped. They went from F-15, 16s, and it was the 22, and then they jump into the 30s, and now it's jumping into the 40s. I mean, in a few years, we're going to have the F-127s or something. I mean, why they jump them like that? I always wondered about that. I could see going a few numbers, but I don't know what decides what the number is going to be on these fighter jets. But that's interesting. I just always thought that, it's much the same way as Russia does when they sell MiGs or they have some scale ups from there, but typically they've had the MiGs. When they sell to other nations in the terror group where they sell these, I don't think they give them the exact model that they have. It's slightly less. Because after all, you don't want to give somebody that, who knows, could turn around and be your enemy and they have this exact same plane that you're dogfighting with or, facing off against. You want to have a little bit of the upper hand. Just a little bit. That's all it takes. Well, folks, that's about what I got tonight. We'll be back on early in the morning. So this old tired boy is going to go upload some. We're still behind uploading some videos and stuff online. Not complaining, just saying that's where we're at. It's been busy. I will be up early in the morning. I'm a tired boy. But we look forward to it. And we have a new show called the Cornbread Man Morning Show, which airs on the audio sites by 5 or 5:30. Yes, I'd love to go, Barry. Sometime we'll have to work that out. We'll give you a ride, brother. It'd be awesome to go to one of those parades. But we'll be back on with the Cornbread Man Morning Show and the the SFP Morning Show. It's just me for the Cornbread Man Morning Show, which airs live on Podbean. And then as soon as it's over, it throws it out to all sites around. I was actually looking at Spotify site today and looking at our shows on Spotify, iHeartRadio, just keeping up to date, making sure things look good. The sound and everything is amazing. Podbean does a great job. And so you have to do those things. But we pump a lot of programs out. We love it. We're workers. And it's not work to us, but we work. We keep the sleeves rolled up and we keep in the game. And look at this, because news doesn't stop. So, and we do a variety of stuff. I was talking to Robert about it. We do a lot of variety. We don't just do news. We do a little bit of everything: news, sports, weather, comedy, documentary series, interview series. We love it. We really are a media entity. We're not just a one-stop shop for or one-trick pony or whatever you want to say. Hello, Dean. Well, you're up awful late. Fix to get off here for tonight. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Yeah, it's the F-40. Yeah, it was the F-22, but the F-47 is the one they're trying to get the budgeting for right now. Yeah, good night to you, brother. That's an expensive fighter jet, the most expensive yet. But they say there's nothing it can't do. We'll say that. There's nothing it can't do. Barry says somebody shipped those protesters masks and supplies. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Dean. Thank you for loving the show. That means a lot. You give us a like, a follow, you share it out. You are a positive evangelist for the Southern Friday, and you are crew. If you're not on the show, you're in the show. And I appreciate that. It means a lot. And all of you that do that. I see it all the time. People that forward our stuff on, some of them I don't even know. It touches my heart because it's hard to get your messaging out there sometimes. And people do that, taking time out of their day to send that out through all their contacts. Hey, we appreciate it. We're stepping our game up. Next week I'll be on vacation. I've got election to do on Tuesday, but other than that, we're working on e-commerce and everything, the coffees. I've got one logo ready, but man, I was working on one today. Sometimes it's a slow go. Couldn't get what I wanted. I don't know why Rob's is always difficult. Doggone it, Rob. I can never make stuff for him. I've been successful twice. Mom paid her quarter. Absolutely. Good mom. Even though it was a slip of the topping or spell check or whatever, I'm glad she did it. I'm glad she did it. I think it's only fair, though, that mom should ask you to pay a quarter when you mess up on the show or something. You should have to put a quarter in. When you get something wrong, she can say, "Oh, quarter in the tip jar." Not that we ever make mistakes. Surely not. Oh my goodness. Hey, everybody have a great night. So I have went crazy, went up to like 12:30, but I'm not with it tonight. I'm tired. I am really tired, but I'm good tired. It's a good kind of tired. You didn't do anything? Well, you have before. You called her out, bro. You called her out. You went scorched earth on mom. You should have had to put $1 in the tip jar. Forget the quarter. Or at least put 4 quarters in. Case quarters. You guys are awesome. Thanks for following the Southern Fried Podcast. And yes, on the Rumble side, we also have SFP Podcasting. It's a long story. But we're running both of those tonight. Somebody will say, you're running 2 channels? I'll say, dang Skippy. Some people got it saved on one. Some people's got it saved on the other. So they get the notification. So we send it out. Let's do it. I'm going to go out by playing some music, but I'm going to play the ad again for Patriot Rumble. I love these people. My gosh, what a company. Praising Jesus, faith, fatherhood, family. I could go on and on and on. And here is the CEO. I've not met him. I think I will one day. Father's Day be coming up. Let's honor our fathers, living or deceased. It's like we do our moms. And if you got a great dad in your life, you should appreciate that. There's a lot of people don't have it. You might be a dad for somebody. I do that too, or a grandpa. I've done it both. And as much as they want wisdom or somebody to talk to or whatever, I'm all in. Sometimes a shoulder to cry on. I've seen some sad stuff. And there's no daddy. There's no daddy. And so us men, we got to step up. I ain't talking about the women. I'm talking about the men. Us men, we got to step up. And I always hated. I'm gonna ramble here just for a second. I always hated to hear when somebody said, "Well, I have no kids, so it don't involve me." I get so mad at that. I get so mad. These kids need somebody. Be a mentor. Be a coach. Be a stand-in dad. Take those kids to those father daughter dances or whatever. Be a grandpa to them. Just love kids. They're under attack, and there's not enough dads stepping up and doing what they should do. Shame on them. Shame on them. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a hard thing. It'll rip your heart out. And I've sat there and I've heard it. I won't give details. I've heard kids call their parents that ain't in their life and beg them to come see them, and realize they're not going to do it. I heard it all on speakerphone, and they'd call them out and they'd say, "You're lying to me. You say you'll come, but you never come." And that phone hangs up. All the emotion runs out. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's tough on this old preacher man. I'll be crying too. It hits me right now thinking about it. But I'm gonna tell you what, you can make a difference in a kid's life, and it might be one thing you do, and that might give that kid all the confidence they need to grow up and do great things. You never know. The littlest thing sometimes they will cling on to, and it gives them the hope of life, a hope of success, the hope of a better day. And the best thing you can put into their life is introduce them to Jesus Christ. And then you're cooking with grease, as we say here in the South. Hey, y'all have a great night. Just take that. That's good wisdom. I'm not crying. I was itching. I'm crying too. Hey, I'm not ashamed to admit. I'm gonna tell you what, this life is tough. And a lot of kids got it tougher than a lot of adults. And it's heartbreaking to watch these kids. They got nobody. They got nobody. All you got to do is just show a little bit of love, give them a little bit of hope. Take them down to the store and buy them an outfit and watch them light up. Get them a new pair of shoes or something. You know, make them part of your family. Take them out to the movies or a dinner. And I know many of you do that. I've done that. I know that. But do it as often as you can. Take them to church where you pick them up. Get them things that they need. Get them a Bible. Get them a Bible. Put their name on it. And watch them just cling onto that thing and hold on to it for the rest of their life. Anyway, we could go on all night. I do know this. God is great, and the devil's a liar. Amen. And you folks are awesome. You take care of yourselves out there. This is a crazy life, a crazy world, and every day is a gift. So tell people you love them, and we'll see you in the AM. I am gonna play the commercial though. I love that thing. So I'm gonna drop down, play it, and then I'm gonna play some music, and we'll be out.
Hi, my name is Glenn Story, and I'm the CEO of Patriot Mobile. This Father's Day, let's take a moment to honor the men who choose to lead their families with strength, humility, and grace. We recognize that fathers, grandfathers, and mentors who reflect the love of our Heavenly Father and how they serve, protect, and guide their children and their families. The Bible gives us a clear picture of what fatherhood really looks like. As fathers, we are called to protect, guide, and provide our families using our faith as our compass, much the way Jesus led the disciples. Whether at home or in church or in our communities, fathers put family first without the need for recognition or thanks. At Patriot Mobile, we proudly stand with those who have received the blessings of fatherhood. That's why we support organizations that defend biblical values, protect our families, and advance the causes that honor our God. Use the promo code below to get your first month free when you switch to Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative cell phone service provider. And with every call and text you make, you'll know that you're supporting a company that believes strong fathers build strong families, and strong families build an even stronger America. Happy Father's Day, and may God bless all the fathers in our great nation.